Surprise! I made a Kigurumi fursuit head. This video is gonna be kind of the process of that. It's not really a tutorial because this was my first time ever making something like this. So, yay! Alright, y'all, I got a package in the mail. I'm gonna go get it. If I can open the door. Ooh! Here it is! I'm so excited. Oh my gosh! Look at what they gave me! A little extra little Christmas hat. A little clip. It's so cute. Oh, I also got eyelashes. Here's the mask. So I started out by laying down my mask onto my bed, which was my workspace for this entire project, and laying some white fleece over top of it and clipping it with these tiny clothespins that I had all the way around the mask. Anywhere there was a wrinkle, I added another clip so that it was completely tight and smooth on the front of the mask. So I ended up with a lot of clips. Next, I removed just a couple clips at a time and would hot glue the fleece to the edge of the mask on the inside. You can just kind of watch what I'm doing here. I made sure to pull the fabric very tight when I was gluing it down so that there were no wrinkles around the edges. As you can see here, I'm just cutting off all of the extra fleece that was on the inside of the mask. Then I started cutting out the holes for the eyes, eyebrows, and mouth, and gluing them down on the inside of the mask. Except for the eyes, I noticed they were a little loose on the inner corner, so I just glued those down on the outside of the mask. And my favorite part of the process was painting the mask. As you can see here, I'm using some blush that I actually use every day on my face to fan out the eyebrows and put a little eyeshadow on the mask, and I ended up doing a little bit of lipstick too afterwards. I also just used black acrylic paint to paint on the eyeliner and a nose. I apologize for this part of the video. I did forget I was recording. And because my workspace was my bed, I was recording on my bed, so my phone did fall a couple times. Sorry. Next, I used a black Posco paint marker to paint the 3D printed eyelashes that this lovely Etsy seller sent with the mask, just because the Posco paint dries quicker and I could grab the other side of the lashes to paint the side that I hadn't painted yet. Then, call me silly or call me innovative, but I had this ski mask already, so I just took it and put it on my head and took the mask and layered a ton of hot glue in the forehead inside and stuck it onto the ski mask so that the eyes lined up with the eyebrow holes. Then I removed the mask and just continued gluing it all the way on the inside so that it'd be nice and tight, kind of like a lining. Here I am just checking the fit. I think it's pretty good. This part wasn't recorded, but I cut about a 1/2 inch strip of EVA foam for each eye and glued it on the inside. Then cut out an eye shape and glued that on the back of the strip just so that I had a 3D eye form. Then I drew out some shapes for the fur that I then cut out and traced onto the backing of my fur and marked each one so that I knew where it would go on the mask. Then I cut those out. This was actually quite a messy process. Then I laid out the fur on the head, made sure I liked where I placed it, and glued it down. To go ahead and make it easier to work with for the rest of the process, I took this Got To Be Glued hairspray, which is magic, let me tell you. It is not sticky at all, and it holds amazingly. And I shaped the fur on the front into some triangle bangs. Now, I could not for the life of me find my mannequin head, so I took a grocery bag and stuffed my pajama pants into it and stuffed that into the ski mask to work with, to glue the fur onto the back of the ski mask so that I had fur on the back of the head. I also forgot to record this, but I did end up adding a white strip of fur underneath this black fur on the back of the head just so that it matched the pigtails better. Speaking of the pigtails, here's the fur that I went ahead and made for those, and how I did it was I just ripped a long strip of black fur about 8 inches wide, 2 of them actually, and cut a shorter strip of white fur the same width to go underneath the black fur. Then I separated about 1 inch of white fur and shaved it with the scissors so that I could take the short white fur and hot glue it onto the backing of the black fur. You can just watch what I'm doing in the video. I did end up having to trim this one to make it the same length as the first one, but here's the finished strips of fur. I then took those strips of fur and hot glued them into a long cylinder so that I had some nice pigtails. Then of course I glued those pigtails to the back of the head using my same grocery bag method. I then printed my head's iris design onto some cardstock paper, just so that it'd be nice and thick and hold up a little bit better when I hot glued it into the 3D eye form, so I had some follow me eyes. Then I took some foam cushions that I got from Walmart and traced out an ear shape onto them. Then I just cut out that ear shape. This foam is incredibly easy to cut, but very staticky, I will warn you. Then I just went ahead and continued to trim those ear shapes until they were the shape that I wanted them to be. Then I took some of that same white fleece that I used for the mask and glued it onto the front of the ears. If for whatever reason you are following along, I would recommend, if you're going to paint the fleece, painting it at this stage. As you can see, I did mark the ears so I could tell which ear went where on the head. Then I went ahead and laid down my ear onto the fur and traced onto the backing about 1 inch outside of where the ear actually was, so that I had some extra fur to go around the front of the ears, and I repeated this for every ear. Then of course I went ahead and hot glued the fur onto the ear. And this is what the finished product looked like. I did decide though that I wanted to paint them pink, so that is what I ended up doing. And there's little Bobby Bub. Here I am just painting that white fleece on the ears pink. And this is what it ended up looking like. As you can see, I did mark the bottom of the ears so that I still could keep track of which ear went where on the head. Then I hot glued the ears onto my fursuit head. And once again, if for whatever reason you are following along, I would recommend gluing the ears onto the head before you glue the fur, because it is very hard to hot glue anything to fur. Then I went ahead and glued some white fur on the insides of my ears just so that it matched the rest of the head a little better. Last but not least, I hot glued on those eyelashes. And then I was all finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching the process of me making this fursuit head. I sure enjoyed making it. And I'm really happy with the results. I hope you guys like it. And I hope you have a wonderful day, night, or evening, or whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye.